being debt-free and 8 quarters of continual top-line growth with expanding margins that are at an all-time high. Talk to us about how you've managed to achieve this feat and what have been some of the factors that have worked in your favor.
So I think what has been really that went well for us for the last few years has been the industries that we serve, which is basically chemical and pharmaceutical, have done really well. So we've been quite lucky. Agrochemical and specialty chemicals, because of the China slowdown, have continuously invested here in India, and because of that investment, we've seen a lot of growth. We are the market leaders when it comes to glass-lined equipment, and as you know, glass-lined equipment are critical equipment used in chemical pharmaceutical plants, and these have been the main reason why we've seen so much growth. Our other business lines, which include the heavy engineering business and the proprietary products business, have also seen a lot of traction. These are new businesses for us. However, the resources and the capabilities that we built over the last few years have really helped us to become successful.
Right. 50% of your revenue comes from pharma and the balance from agrochem and specialty chemical business as well. How exactly will the mix evolve going forward? If you could shed some light on the opportunity available and on the growth in the glass line market.
So I think there's a slight change in that number. It used to be 50% coming from pharmaceutical. Now it's more like 60% coming from the chemical space, which includes agro and specialty. About 30% comes from pharmaceutical. So pharma has been a bit quiet over the last few quarters, due to FDA issues and pricing pressure in the US. But we do see and we do believe that pharma will start doing a little bit better, especially the Hyderabad pharma. We've seen some traction already happening because of Pharma City, but I think pharma will pick up. But going forward, chemical does continue to look very strong. Most of the big players have continued to invest over time, and I think they will continue to invest over time. A lot of the multinationals have de-risked their China strategy, so for them, India is an important place, an important area where they'll continue to buy new products from.
Right. So given that there is a huge backlog for GMM orders, you must be at full capacity right now. Do you have capacity enhancing investments underway? And if so, what are the plans?
So I think let me talk about glass-lined first. Glass-lined, I think in terms of capacity, we just commissioned a new gas furnace last month. So that should give us some additional output for Q4. Plus, it also helps us improve the profitability because, as you know, gas is much more efficient than electricity and electric furnaces. We've also recently placed an order for 2 new furnaces, which should be coming online sometime in June or July. I think with those new investments that we made, I think we will be in a good situation with glass-lined. Heavy engineering, we made investments already over the last few years, and we expect that to be sufficient for the next few quarters. Heavy engineering for us is a growth area. We have built resources, we've added capabilities, we've also enlisted with EIL. So I think heavy engineering is something that looks good for us. Plus the Pfaudler sales network has really taken a lot of interest in our heavy engineering business. We have made significant inroads into the US and in Europe, and we will continue to use the Pfaudler network to sell heavy engineering products into the international markets.
Could you tell us all about your relationship with FA Pfaudler? What does each of you bring on the table, and is there a possibility that the shareholder pattern between the Patel family and the Pfaudler will change going forward?
So Pfaudler changed hands in 2014. Pfaudler is now owned by private equity. Private equity has seen their investment in GMM Pfaudler increase significantly since they came in. They're very happy with how India has performed. India, GMM Pfaudler is the largest entity in the Pfaudler group in terms of revenue and in terms of profitability. We have Pfaudler, the CEO of Pfaudler and the CFO of Pfaudler on our board. They're very supportive, they're very helpful, and we have access to all the new products that Pfaudler brings in. Pfaudler recently has also acquired a few companies in Germany and around Europe. So those new technologies will also come into India shortly.
What sets GMMs apart from the competition like Swiss Glasscoat, and have you been able to thrive the wish list, and what are you doing about it? Is there a moat around your business?
So I think one is, obviously there's a lot of, the goodwill that has been created in the Indian market. We've been around since 1962. People know us as a glass lining company. Sometimes, that's actually a negative for us as we try to expand into new products. But GMM Pfaudler is synonymous with quality, with, taking care of the customers and the after-sales support and service. Going forward, we are the largest producer of glass-lined. We've reached a scale here in glass-lined which is, I would say, incredible. We make more than 200 units every month. And compared to any of the other players in India, we are far ahead of that. So going forward, we'll continue to work on our improvements, our efficiencies. We'll continue to add innovations and technologies to our product offerings and continue to be close to our customers. I think that's something that has helped us to be successful, is that we have very good relationship with most of our customers.
Tarak, what do you envisage in terms of growth for the next 3 to 5 years? Are you exploring new markets, planning on introducing any new products?
So I think going forward, as I mentioned on my last analyst call, Q4 already looks very good. I think we will close the year out with a very strong performance. In terms of backlogs, it's quite heartening to know that our backlog is quite well situated in terms of the 3 business lines. All 3 backlogs are pretty strong. What's really heartening to know is the heavy engineering business has a very strong backlog. This is the first time at the opening of the year we will have a strong HE backlog. So we will, I think, do well in HE. I think HE is a growth area for us, and I believe that FY21 will be a good year for HE. New products and new technologies. Acid recovery is something that we are working on. I think acid recovery is a technology that Pfaudler has recently acquired, and I think we would start bringing it into India. We've already started work on that. So going forward, I think acid the recovery could be a big play for us. And we are always in the market for any M&A opportunities. I think if something were to come up that made sense from us from a market share point of view or from a technology point of view, I think that would be something of great interest to us.
Sure. And have you identified any potential acquisition targets?
So right now it's speculative. We are looking around. We are, our eyes and ears are open. We've had some preliminary talks. Some things didn't work out. But I think over the next maybe few quarters, that's something that we would really like to do as we grow, is to add either new technology, some market share, or international market. Something on those lines would help us propel us to the next level of growth.
Okay. So what are the factors that have led to GMM stock going up almost 2.5% or other times in the last 2 years, where small caps and mid caps have actually seen a mass value erosion?
So it's very hard for me to say, but I believe that we've been around for more than 50 years. We are a multinational company. 75% of the shares are held by the promoter group. We have a very, very strong board of generalists as well as functional strengths as well. So I think it's a well-run company. We continue to have very good values and ethics. And I think going forward, our relationships with the customers, which we've had for more than 30, 40 years, I think that will help us continue to remain successful.